Hey guys, what's up? It's Baldo, and welcome back to the final Shooterborn in Heaven episode of the Tasking and Tarkov series. This episode, we're running into Shoreline to check out my favorite sniper spots, most of which you're probably aware of. Maybe there's one or two that you haven't quite seen yet. Now, for me, Shoreline is the hardest map to do Shooterborn in Heaven on. I don't know why I have so much trouble with it, but I think a lot of it has to do with my timing and when I get to my sniping spots, not so much the sniping spots themselves. But if you guys are looking for some hints to do your own Shooterborn in Heaven runs and want to see my favorite sniping spots on Shoreline, go ahead and stick around. We'll talk after the video. Alright, here we are. Spawned back close to the swamp, I do believe. That gives us quite a few places to head to start off with to get our Shooterborn in Heaven kills. So we are going to be heading to look at my favorite sniper spots on Shoreline. Now, of course, every single video I tend to make on this seems to be foggy, and I can't ever get away from that, so we'll do what we can. But this first location is right on the, I guess, eastern side of the swamp, in between the swamp and the bunker that is by Rock Passage. Now, the reason I like this spot is because on a clear day, which is usually clearer than this, you can see all the way to the other side of the swamp towards that spawn over there. Now, a lot of people don't run through the swamp because it slows you down, but there is a spawn over there, so when they run from there to the village or run from there towards the cottages, you can get pretty good vision on them and maybe get one or two shots before they disappear into this tree line here. And if one of your shots are good, easy kill. Now, there's a reason they call this the suicide fields, and I'm sure you can tell why. From the spawn over there, or the spawn that we had, anybody who's running through this area usually bypasses the suicide fields, but every once in a while you get somebody that either doesn't know or thinks they're kitted enough to make it across this wide open expanse without pulling any aggro from anybody. So I like to sit on the eastern side of this, similar to the last spot that was on the eastern side of the swamp. Try to pick people off as they're running here. A lot of times you're going to be looking back towards the ditch that's in the back there, or running across that tree line to try to pop people that are trying to stay out of suicide fields but make their way to either side. I do like this location because a lot of people are trying to get across this as quickly as possible, or think they're hidden enough that you can't see across it. So if you can get a good location early enough in the raid, or late enough that you're going to get people coming from behind you from Resort towards Extract, you can get a few good shots on anybody. Now, the next spot I like to sit is on the west side of the power supply station, or the HEPS, hydroelectric power station. I like to sit over here because a lot of people will run from the spawn that's over by the radio tower or over by the road to customs extract in that area and make their way here, and they will sit on this hill line. Now, a lot of times when they're sitting here, they're either looking over towards this hill at people who are running up from here, or running over from this spawn that's over by the collapsed tunnel extract, or they're going to be looking up here at people that are running down from the resort, depending on how late in the raid we're in. But a lot of times they don't look on this hill over here. And as you can see, you're on the same eye level as this hill. So they are going to be silhouetted up against the tree line and back. You can also get people that are running from the resort down to HEPS, but that is not going to be a 100-meter headshot, but it can still get you some pretty decent kills. And then also from the same spot over here, we can look towards the spot that I just mentioned earlier, and that is both spine. And there's also a bush or two up here that people like to sit on to look also towards the hill we were just looking at. Now, this is one of my favorite bushes to sit in. This is over there by the gas station, right down from the river. Now, the reason I like this so much is because you have the sight line of that same ridge line. Now, the reason I like this spot so much is because you have the same sight line on that ridge line that I mentioned from the other spot, but you are not able to be seen from that spot. Another spot you can look right down here on these rocks that overlook the pier. Now, for some reason, people like to sit there and try to pick off people as they run onto the pier, as well as try to get their scav kills for the various tasks that bring you to Shoreline to do so. Because gas station is a pretty heavy spawn for scavs. So it's easy to get clean shots on people while also having pretty much every other direction that you could be seen from covered by the pretty thick foliage. Now, people do run through this area quite a bit, so make sure you have ears on and are listening for footsteps so you can prepare for when they get to you. But all in all, I really do like sniping from this spot. Now, this next spot we're looking at is right on the cliff side on the south side of the weather station. Now, this is a pretty dangerous spot to be because, as you can see, there's nothing but rock base under you, so you're going to stick out like a sore thumb if anybody's looking up here. But there is a good side to it, is as heavily looted as weather station is, you cannot be seen from the weather station. So as long as you're not doing a lot of rotating and grinding your feet a lot, people aren't going to be seeing you from the back. And hopefully, if you know what position you're at in the raid or what time, you should be able to judge whether the most likely traffic is going to be coming from this direction or from this direction, and focusing your attention there. If you focus your attention in the right direction, you are going to see anybody before they see you, mainly because they are in a wide open space and they have to be looking at the right angle to see you. Because even from here, all that's going to be seen is basically from your waist up, and from here is going to be the right side of your body is all that's going to be able to be seen. Now, this final sniper spot is what I would consider probably the most dangerous spot to snipe on Shoreline, but also one that offers one of the best sight lines of over 100 meters on the map. Now, the reason I like this spot so much is because there's a spawn directly over here by the rock bridge, and you can run straight over here and get visuals on anybody that spawns over by the road to customs extract, or anybody that spawns over by the blue construction area that might be running this way towards the resort. Now, keep in mind, unless the people are running from this direction and popping SJ6 to try to make it there, people are going to be paying attention up here. A lot of times these guys are just balls to the wall running, trying to get there as quickly as they can, and they don't really pay attention in this area, so you might be able to get a good shot, but unless they're far enough out, it's not going to be 100 meters. I think one of the most redeeming qualities to this point is the fact that you can get a visual on this stash up here. Now, nearly anybody that spawns over on the road to customs extract side is going to stop by that stash and try to loot it. They're going to be in there long enough for you to line up a headshot and doink them pretty easily. But if they don't stop, and they're going to be running down here, and you still have visual of them all the way down here. So it's a wonderful spot. Now, there's also the good thing, there are 2 or 3 quest items over in this area. There's the UAV over here by this torn down house. There is the Lend-Lease item in a box right on the other side of this hill, if I'm correct. Plus, people have to go and mark both the weather station as well as the radio tower over here, so you can get people that are traveling to any of those spots as well. And that's also not mentioning the fact that you cannot be seen from behind you, and anybody who gets to the point where they will be able to see you, you'll hear them coming up, even if they're slow walking. So overall, I think this is one of the most looked at places for Shooter Born in Heaven, which in turn makes it dangerous, but it's equally as dangerous to the people who are looking up here, as long as you maintain visuals on the correct spots. And that is that. Shooter Born in Heaven tasks are done. I know a few of those spots were obvious spots, like the ones by weather station, but as much as these suggestions were for you to use, they're also warnings for you to keep in mind as you're running around the map. Try to prevent yourself from becoming the victims of those 100-meter headshots. If any of you guys have your own favorite sniper spots on Shoreline, go ahead and leave a comment below with where they're at. I'll take a look at them. Maybe they'll inspire some other people that are watching this video. Take a look at those as well, because clearly this was not an exhaustive list of every place that you can get 100-meter sight lines on the map. I do want to invite you guys to jump in the live stream and say hey to me while I'm playing Escape from Tarkov. I do stream Tarkov 3 to 4 times a week on Twitch. My link for that will be down below. But even if you don't hop in the live stream, I'm sure I will see you in the next video.